Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle Fair, and I am the Program Director of the Pediatric Rheumatology Fellowship at Children's Hospital in Wisconsin. And I am here today with our three fellows to have a conversation with them about our fellowship and what they would recommend to those who are pursuing a fellowship. So to start, we're going to meet each fellow. We're going to see where they grew up and what residency that they did.
My name's Amanda. I'm the first year fellow. I was originally born and raised in Costa Rica, but moved to Michigan to do my pediatric residency. And now I'm a first year here in Milwaukee.
Hi, my name is James Bastillarides. I'm our second year fellow. I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and went to undergrad at University of Michigan, medical school at Michigan State College of Human Medicine. Then I went to University of Chicago for residency and ended up here at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin for rheumatology fellowship.
Everyone, I'm Caitlin Kirkpatrick, our third year fellow. So I grew up in Carmel, Indiana. I actually went to college out in Colorado College in Colorado Springs. Came back to the Midwest and did medical school at MCW, then did Med Peds residency here, and now finishing up Peds Room Fellowship here.
So to start, I kind of want to just find out from you guys what attracted each of you to choose Children's Hospital and being in Milwaukee for your fellowship. So we'll start again with Amanda.
One of the biggest things for me, because it's difficult to know starting your fellowship whether you want to do research or just clinical or teaching, I wanted a place where I had access to people with different backgrounds and different interests so I could find my own without being boxed to one place only.
Yeah, so my fellowship application was a bit unique. When my wife was applying to radiology residency programs when I was thinking about applying to fellowship programs. So, like you're doing right now, I explored the websites when she was beginning to form her rank list and identified this as a program I was interested in and sought the opinions of different contacts I had made. Through the process of deciding to apply, who all had great things to say about MCW and the docs and the quality of clinical training here.
I think for me, probably one of the biggest things that attracted me here was just the very wide patient population. Since I did residency here, I knew a little bit already about what everything was like, but I also knew that we tended to get patients from all over, from up north Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, kind of the upper border of Illinois, even central Wisconsin, and kind of all over the place. And so when you get that many patients, you know you're going to get a little bit of everything. And I think there really hasn't been much I haven't seen yet. And so that was really exciting, mixed with what Amanda said too, the many attendings with different interests. So you combine all that and you're going to have a very well-rounded fellowship experience here.
The next question would be for each of you as a fellow. Everyone has to do some sort of scholarly project. And so what are each of you kind of either currently clinically interested in that you hope to develop a project about, or what are you currently working on for your scholarly project?
I have just started on working on my scholarly project, but I'm mainly interested in medical education, especially in teaching rheumatology. I don't have a formal project there, but I think that's the main interest that I'm going to pursue.
Yeah, I have a few different interests, and I'm trying to leave fellowship well-rounded. So it's been a great place to be because, like Amanda and Caitlin said, there's a lot of different interests here. My specific projects are related to clinical research. I'm doing a project with um, the Chronic Childhood Vasculitis Work Group through CARA. We're an active CARA site to look at Takayasu arteritis. And then in addition to that, I think all of us are involved in quality improvement, some of our endeavors here, which is nice to gain that skill as well.
With my med peds background, I've had a big interest in transition care. And so that's what I took for my project. I'm actually looking at a lot of different social health type questions, behavioral health questions, and do they potentially and affect transition readiness? And so I've got all my data collection. Now I'm kind of working on writing everything up for it, but it'll be all transition related for me.
You guys have all kind of mentioned that a lot of the faculty here have different backgrounds, which is really beneficial depending upon what your interests are. And I was wondering if you guys could speak a little bit about the mentorship, whether that's for your scholarly project or for your clinical knowledge. What kind of mentorship do you feel like you get here at this program in Milwaukee?
One of the best things of our program is the fact that, like we were talking, everyone has a different interest. So we have a few attendings who really like medical education. We have a few who dedicate themselves more to research. We have one in particular who very much likes immunology. So I think even if they're not your formal mentor, you have access to different people depending on what you like. We have people who have also developed a niche in what they specialize in and they want to do. So you have multiple options of who to ask and people who to reach if you have questions about a specific disease.
Yeah, so when it comes to mentorship, we've touched on it already, but personally, Dr. Sabag has been a mentor for clinical research here. Dr. Nocton, just all of his experience clinically and with everything rheumatology. Dr. Fair, who's on this video with Med Ed and teaching. You'll meet Dr. Verbsky, who's our immunologist, and then the other thing I've touched on in an earlier answer is rheumatology being a small community. You'll have the chance to get mentorship from outside of the facility as well, which is just common anywhere you train. So we're an active care site, and I count mentors elsewhere through my work groups. And when you're a fellow, you'll learn about the Amigo program, and you'll be able to get mentorship from another individual outside your institution. So both here and elsewhere, I think the takeaway is our program is really supportive of giving us the time to have these opportunities to be on work group calls and explore things that you're interested in.
Yeah, so as everyone's touched on, all of our attendings have their own interests and they get very excited when they hear you may be interested in something they also share an interest in. So even if you've never done bench research, you mentioned I was thinking about potentially doing a project like this. I thought it would be cool to try it for the first time. Dr. Williams, Dr. Verbsky, they'll jump on you in a heartbeat. They'll be very excited to take you under their wing. If you think more clinical, we've got so many supportive clinical research people as well. But even outside of our department, I think something cool about Children's Hospital is there are great mentors in other specialties too. When I was first talking about doing a transition project, the first thing I did was kind of reach out to some endocrine people and be like, hey, who's your transition person over here? And same with GI, and what do you guys do? And they're always really excited to talk to you and help you kind of develop your project as well. So you're never restricted to just rheumatology here. It's such a big hospital. Everyone wants to be involved and help you out.
That's a great segue into our next question. So, you guys are absolutely right that mentorship isn't just at the center you are located, but you can find mentorship at many different subspecialties and also outside of the hospital in pediatric rheumatology hospitals across the nation. So, the next thing or question I want to ask you guys is what are some of the things you like best about being at MCW, the campus, Children's Hospital, and the environment here?
I have a lot, but I do want to say all the faculty here and all our staff gets along very well. Everyone's willing to work with you to make the patient's care a little bit easier. I think we also have a very flexible and helpful attendings who understand that we all have lives outside of work. So I think I appreciate that the most.
I think that MCW has everything you'd want out of a medical campus. Caitlin mentioned the other departments at Children's and our kind of adult hospital, Freighter, which is on campus. So anything and everything that you would need to take good care of your patients or to advance your research interests is available at MCW. That said, it doesn't feel as big as we might be making it sound. It's very casual, comfortable. You can focus on yourself and your learning. We have dedicated workspace. We're not just shoehorned into wherever we can find space. We're each in our cubbies right now, where we have a lot of room to spread out and be
I
productive.
think for me, my two favorite things are probably first, for those of you who may be like me, med peds trained, unlike me thinking though of doing a combined fellowship, that's certainly a possibility here. and well supported here. There's a strong med-peds presence throughout this hospital. And like James mentioned, Freighter is actually attached to where we are, and that's our adult side. And so we do work closely with them. We have monthly meetings with them. And so you feel kind of integrated into both sides, even though we are a peds specific fellowship. The other thing I would touch on about MCW, or at least our specific room program that I think is wonderful and unique, is we have the best ancillary support staff with our nurses, MAs, and everyone around us. I don't think you'll find that anywhere else, who are helpful, want to teach you as well, but also try to make your life as a fellow a little bit easier. And it's wonderful. They can ask for better nurses.
And then kind of jumping bigger than just the MCW environment, what do you guys really like about living in Milwaukee or being in the Milwaukee area, for those especially who may not or have never been to Milwaukee?
I like the medium city feeling without having to drive 2 hours to work. I think all of us are pretty much 20, max 30 minutes away from work, depending on where we live. There's different places where you can live. There's downtown, there's more suburban areas. So you can get to experience a little bit of city without necessarily needing to live right there. I think there's a lot of places to visit, a lot of places to eat at. And I also like that you're close to other big cities if that's what you want to do and explore around, like Chicago and on the Michigan side too.
Yeah, I think I'll echo. Milwaukee's very livable. The hospital is not in downtown Milwaukee, but just outside. So you can live downtown. You can live. There's apartment buildings like walking distance from the hospital, but you can live anywhere, kind of in the circumference, and get what you need, depending on what stage of life you're at. Milwaukee has entertainment, all the amenities you expect out of a big city, whether it's sports or shows, and even the shows that don't make it to Milwaukee, the mega stars like Taylor Swift, they're going to be in Chicago, which is an hour away by train or car. Um, Milwaukee airport's very manageable, and then Chicago, if you want to go straight to anywhere on the globe, it's a good place to have a family if you're at that stage in life, and it has four seasons, which is appealing for I think many people. That fourth season, winter, is not appealing to some of you, but Milwaukee does it very well. We have tunnels and bridges that we're not going outside in the winter time on campus, and the snow gets cleared rather quickly. So if you're coming from out of region, I wouldn't let that deter you.
So Milwaukee's great. Like I said, I've been here since medical school, and it is a great place for any stage of your life. You're the young single person just starting out, kind of living alone with the cats, like I was. It's great to live in Tosa, which is the city it's at, or downtown, where you can find anything you want down there. If you're that first young married life, even, and there's plenty of things for your spouse to do anywhere, and you can live downtown with your little starter home. Totally doable. You, like me, have kids, and you're like, I need the suburbs and schools and kind of more yard for the kids or the dogs to run around in. There's great suburbs all around the area and tons of kids activities, and all very affordable too. Midwest affordability. And like James said, there's a little bit of everything that you could want. For those soccer fans like me, they're bringing a pro soccer team too. So that's going to be new in a couple of years. Another thing to look forward to.
Yeah, no one mentioned how we have the great Packers in Green Bay or the Brewers directly in Milwaukee. We don't have our own pro hockey team, but we do have the Milwaukee Admirals. So yeah, there are lots of great things to do in Milwaukee throughout all the seasons. So even as James said, when it's winter, there are winter festivals and other things that are going on inside to kind of keep you busy and get you out of your house. So the last question I have for our fellows today is, what advice would you give someone who's looking for a program and who's kind of just starting the process to figure out where they want to apply for a fellowship?
My biggest advice would be to think a little bit different than residency. You don't want to match anywhere. Most programs will very much welcome you with open arms for fellowship. So think more about where you want to spend the rest few years, where you would fit more depending on your interests. and where you see yourself in a few years, whether it's a place you want to stay or a place you want to get more experience for the next step.
I think my advice would be to seek out a program that fits you best, for you, your family, at the stage you're at in life. I think you're going to get what you need out of a program if you're motivated to do so. So if you find a program that doesn't quite have this or doesn't quite have that, you can make it happen where you're at. And rheumatology is such a small community that uh, we're all going to work with each other regardless. So find a place where you feel like you're going to be kind of a whole person, a whole doctor, and you'll meet all your goals if you want to.
Take a look at the fellows or even the attendings and how they interact with each other. Do they seem friendly, or do they seem like they get along and actually like each other and might hang out on their free time? I think that's important. One thing I love about our program is that family feel we all have, and we're all really involved in each other's lives and like to know what's going on. And like James said and Amanda said, you're gonna get the education you want anywhere. Every program has its ups and downs, but you're overall going to make that rheumatology experience what you want it. It's going to be a lot better, though, if you feel like you are supported and you're excited to be around these people and work with them. And so that is something I'd say, get that feel, get that vibe. That'll make your overall experience great.
Thank you guys for taking the time to have this conversation with me so that way we could get to know you and get to know our program a little bit more for those who are looking at potentially coming to interview with us. And we hope that maybe this video helped you and that we'll see you down the interview road. Bye.